What drugs did we do in prison? Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, coming at ya. Somebody asked me question, what drugs did you do in prison? What substances did you guys have in there? So that's what we're going to get into today. Remember, before I get started, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. If you guys want to get Soberdogs merch, check out Soberdogs Teespring. Put a link in the description, and thank you, everyone. If you are not subscribed and have not hit that like button, I will earn it by the end of this video. Please consider hitting both of them. Thank you for the love and support. So I'm putting some videos up on TikTok about, using in prison, and I put a bunch on YouTube too. And one of the common questions is, what drugs did you use in there? Also, was it really that easy to get drugs in there? The answer to that question, yes, it was incredibly easy to get drugs in prison. It was almost as easy as the street, not quantity-wise, but you knew who had it, where they had it, and where they were at all times. Like, if G Money in 4-cell was the one who had stuff, I knew where his cell was, how to get to his cell, there's only a couple different spots G Money can be. He's either at his job or his program, out in the yard, in the cafeteria, or in his cell. So you knew where people were going to be, when they were going to be there, how, you knew where to go to meet them. It was very organized and easy to get stuff in there. And yes, there was a lot of drugs. I've said this before. I probably spent, probably 50 to 60% of my time high. So over half of the days in there, I was high. What specific drugs? During my time in prison, and I did the old New York State tour because I kept getting in trouble, so I did go around to multiple different prisons, 9 total. I saw basically every substance that was available on the street was available in prison. So I'm talking, I personally did heroin in prison, cocaine in prison, weed, K2, Suboxone, Xanax, Oxycontin, drank alcohol, both homemade inside alcohol, hooch, and alcohol that was smuggled in. Also, what I saw, the ones I saw in there that I didn't do was acid. X, I said I only did that one time, but there was more of that available. Acid was available, Molly was available in there, and shrooms were in there, and meth was in there. All those were there that I didn't do, and a bunch of random and different prescription medications that I didn't get my hands on or just didn't want to do because there was other stuff. But all those things were in there and available. So when you hear people say they got high in prison, I know a lot of my friends and family assume that when I said that, it was straight up talking about weed and occasionally homemade, hooch that they make in there. No, it's everything. There was stuff available. Not only was it all available, stuff like heroin, we even had a needle. There were needles being smuggled in. So we were straight up shooting up heroin in prison. That's how insane it is. That's how abundant it is. I heard that during COVID, it went down a little bit because one of the main ways a lot of it comes in is through visits with friends and family. But even with that happening, there's still plenty of it because there's a lot of other ways it comes in, not just visits. The prison system will like to tell you that 95% of the drugs come in on visits, but it's more like probably 60%. There's a lot that comes in with crooked guards, blackmail guards, a lot that comes in with civilian workers bringing it in. There's a lot that comes through the mail still, and there's a lot of random methods that people wouldn't even think about, like drones and tennis balls being thrown over the gate and just outside workers, people who get special clearance to go work outside. There's just a ton of different ways. But basically, any and every drug you can theoretically imagine was available. Now, why would somebody want to do something like shrooms or acid in prison? I don't have the slightest idea. I would not want to do it in that environment. But then again, desperate enough, or especially even like in places like solitary, I probably would have taken anything because it's better than killing myself. Also, to add insult to injury, people are like, well, then at least in solitary you couldn't get drugs. Incorrect. We got high in solitary. My second to last trip in solitary, I got high probably 80 of the 120 days. I got high all the time, non-stop. So there is a ton of drugs in prison, and not only a ton, there's a ton of different kinds. All the drugs you'd find on the street are in prison as well.